In a world where hopium and common sense collide, starring the CryptoKeeper and BlockchainCrusader. Welcome to Debate Crypto. Crypto fam, it's your boy CryptoKeeper, and as always, the BlockchainCrusader. I was just reminded that the Marines are first to fight. Somebody in the DCA fam wanted to kind of poke a little bit at the fact that we were running late. My apologies, Mike. I just want to throw that out there. My apologies. We definitely were a couple minutes late. So, at any event, without further ado, let's get into it, guys. If it is your first time here with the DCA fam, make sure that you guys smash the likes, blow up the chat, do all of the things that YouTube loves and actually that we love. We do love interacting with the chat, guys. So let's keep the chat blowing up, and yeah, let's have some fun tonight. We're going to talk about some price targets.
Let's do it.
Let's
get the energy going. Let's get the chat up and blowing up, right? Drop a one, guys, in the chat if you've been taking advantage of this amazing dip opportunity in the markets, right? Drop a one if you've been buying, and if you have been buying, drop what you've been buying. We want to see what it is that you've been buying, and drop a two if you just said no, I'm not buying just yet. This is going to keep going lower. It's all over. I'm taking my money out. Drop a two for that.
Yeah, we're going to get into all of those options tonight and kind of look at some actual price targets, guys. And we've got some nice statistics and some targets to really look at. So I think you make sure you guys stick around for it. So the global market cap is at $1.62 trillion. Good God.
Oh my God, it's terrible.
It's just bleeding. There's a reason that the charts, the downward candles are red, because they are bleeding. Bitcoin, though, actually, side note, Bitcoin up 1.60%. I got stopped out, by the way. Just wanted to throw that out there.
out of your short?
Out of my short. Yeah. So,
dude, I'm telling you, bro.
Listen, guys, this is simple. You guys follow me to be able to actively counter trade me now that I'm doing the leverage stuff. So I will let you guys know when I'm in a leverage trade, right? And then you guys can jump in and do the exact opposite. And by the way, we're giving away $20. Well, Femex is giving away $20. If you guys sign up under our code, which is down below the video, all you have to do is make a deposit. It doesn't have to be anything big, and you can spot trade. I'm not just like pushing leverage trading, because quite honestly, I've done nothing but lose. And but hey, at least I'm open and honest about it. You know what I mean? But yeah, so the rest of the market is, bleeding with it. I'm not even going to get into specific prices. ETH 23.91, BNB's down below 400.
Pretty low, right?
Cardano's at almost $1. Solana is at $88.
Well, we got Patricio in the chat saying that he's waiting for free Solanas. At the rate that they're getting network outages, they're gonna have to give that thing away for free.
Yeah, at some point it actually doesn't become free, Patricio. It just disappears, right? So it just goes from like, hey, this is here, this is here, this is here, to just kind of disappears.
Yeah, it just becomes an EOS, just in the dead project floating around.
That's right. It absolutely does. So let's start off with a little article this evening, and let's talk about some market crashes. Right, there have been a number in the past, and so we've got a pretty cool article here. Well, I wish this article didn't ever have to be written, but
I just want to say that word offends people. It's not a crash. It is a correction in the market. It's just a buying opportunity.
There you go. So, but, again, this is an article being written for people to read. So 5 of the biggest Bitcoin crashes and how this one compares. This says, think the current crypto market downturn is bad? Check out these Bitcoin crashes and bear markets. Actually, a really cool drawing there. All right. So the word crash is thrown around a lot in the crypto headlines, but most traders wouldn't use that term for a 9% Tuesday dip for Bitcoin, especially because Bitcoin is just as likely to regain 8% on Wednesday. But crypto market malaise is different. Bitcoin has fallen 16.5% in just a week. Ethereum is posting a 23% loss. Solana is down 33%. From January 20 through the 22nd, when the bottom started falling out, Bitcoin went from 43.3 to roughly 34,650, a 20% drop in under 48 hours. And this is literally this picture right here. This is definitely an advertisement, but this is what was happening. Except for these should be Bitcoins. They're just falling, just absolutely just
cheap money, free money. Yeah, give me more.
Those are crash numbers. Where does this one, which may not be over despite a 4.5% rise to 37,000, stack up compared to previous crashes in Bitcoin and crypto history? So I'm just going to touch on these, right? So June 19th, 2011, after surging from $2 to $32 through the first half of the year, Bitcoin cooled back down to 1750. By the time the hack on the exchange allowed Bitcoin to be sold for just a penny. That's right. Bitcoin fell 99.9% in one day. So
and
guys,
it survived. And it survived.
It is not a crash until it falls 99.9%.
I mean, just think about that. People are crying right now because we're
Dude, what if
down
you had a
16%.
freaking buy order in at that? Like,
I mean,
oh
people
man.
have, right? We've had flash crashes. We had a lot of flash crashes back in 2017, and people got some pretty good buy orders out of it.
You know, that's something that I literally need to do that I have not been smart about, is putting in like stupid low buy orders for like an instance like that. I need to do that. December 2013. Doesn't look like much now, just a blip on the otherwise flat line near the beginning of Bitcoin's life. But December was a huge deal. The price had reached $1,151.17 on December 3rd, then an all-time high. And then after trading for slightly above $200 just a month prior. So it had gone from 200 to 1151. And then crypto dropped out because of China cryptocurrency ban, which we see those every other day now. So, you know, it just kind of is what it is.
But yeah, back then was actually a big thing.
Miguel, this one's going to look familiar to you and I. December 2017. When crypto OGs talk about the previous bear markets, they're referring to the crypto winter. Yes, was so pervasive that it earned a capitalization. That began in December of 2017. This is the one that Miguel and I are very familiar with, that got us to where we are now by being patient and all of the things, right? But Bitcoin had a great run in 2017. It increased in price nearly 20-fold, reaching a fresh all-time high of $19,497 on December 15th. 6 days later, it was at 13,831. I remember that. And then kept getting worse, falling below $7,000 in early February, and spending the next these 9 months between $6,000 and $10,000 were, I remember that being, I mean, just absolutely just.
That was great, dude. That was the greatest thing. I was doing a lot of buying during that time.
So was I, but I'm saying like it was just because you had seen it, and I want to stop real quick on that, Mark. We had seen it, like, and here's the thing. I talked about this yesterday a little bit. For me, you know, I'll see my portfolio get to a number and that becomes my new zero. And back then my mindset was very much that, especially as I'm growing and I'm buying and I'm buying and I'm buying. And that was a hard time for me. I continued to buy because I believed, but I do distinctly remember, like, are we ever going to get up above 10K again? Or is this just,
I don't have that problem, dude. For me, zero is zero. I've always been at zero, so anything above zero, I'm solid. And that's I've never had to deal with that problem.
I don't know. I really don't know why. But so drop a one in the chat if
it's that XRP greed, bro.
Yeah, right. Drop a one in the chat if you err more towards like what I'm saying, where like when you see your portfolio hit a new high, that becomes your new zero. Drop a 2 if you're more like Miguel and like, hey, just a zero is a zero. I wish that I had the latter where like zero was just zero. I will tell you right now, for the first time, this is the first time in a while, I actually feel really good about some of these prices being down where they are right now. And we're going to get into it tonight. But you guys are going to hate hearing this. I used to hear people say, you know, bring on a freaking 10K Bitcoin, you know what I mean?
Yes,
and I always used to think, I'm like, yeah, but you bring on that 10K Bitcoin and they're going to be scared out of their pants and this, that, and the third. I actually right now feel like I'd love another opportunity for a 10K Bitcoin right now. Yes. Like, love it, and would buy the heck out of it, right? So
the people that won't do it are the people that don't understand what they're buying, right? They only are in it because they see the headlines, because they see the price action and say, I want to make money now. but they don't understand Bitcoin. They don't understand crypto. They don't understand the future of what it's going to look like 10 years from now. They have
Right.
zero understanding of any of that, and that is why they don't hang on to it. That's why they're the first ones to, paper hands. They're the first ones to sell, and then the first ones to to miss the bottoms and not buy in when prices are low, because they only chase green candles and
Yeah.
FOMO, because they don't have any understanding of the technology.
Yeah. Garris, I did not sell. I took a little bit of profits. I took about 5% off the table. Quite honestly, it's like took some money off.
Guys, I was able to restrain the panic selling to keep up the reputation of the channel.
I love how you continue to call it panic. But yeah, so no, I just took about 5% off the table. And ultimately right now I am shifting some funds around from my construction business as we get ready for tax season and whatnot. And I do have some capital available. So I actually am looking towards maybe, buying some more.
Sounds to me
But we're
like
waiting.
some money laundering action going on
We're,
over there.
we're
I'm shifting some capital around from my business.
moving on. I can neither confirm nor deny that. No. Yeah. So I'm hoping that if we do see some low prices, that not hoping, I'm going to take advantage of
Bring it.
some low prices.
But
So
I wish I could find the little GIF that I always say bring it to. It's the best GIF, and it 100%, like, is exactly what this moment is. Has anyone seen Emperor's New Groove, when the llama and the guy that's guiding the llama, whatever his name is, they're strapped to a boulder floating down a river, and there's a waterfall coming.
is this
And
with what's his name?
it's a cartoon. The Emperor's New
Oh,
Groove.
never
It's a
mind. I'm
cartoon.
thinking something totally different. Never
It's
mind.
it's an emperor that gets transformed into a llama, and then there's a village man that tries to rescue him to bring him back to stay in power. But they're strapped to a rock that's gonna go falling off a cliff, off a waterfall. The llama can't see the waterfall; he hears it, so he's like, "Is that a waterfall here?" And the guy's like, "Yeah." And it's like, "Are there sharp rocks at the bottom?" He's like, "Yeah." Impending doom, and the guy's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Bring it." And then and just fall off the fucking thing. It's
I've
exactly
never
that.
been a
Bring it.
cartoon. I've never been a cartoon guy.
You're missing life, bro.
As an adult, I just haven't. There's a couple of the
Some of the best
South Park
cartoons,
once in
bro.
a while or
No,
whatever,
no.
but no, I
Some
just
of the
not been a
best
cartoon.
life lessons I've learned from cartoons, dude. If you haven't seen Avatar, The Last Airbender, it's a really good cartoon. And then the rest of the stuff is like kind of like anime, right? Naruto, Death Note, stuff like that. Top notch, bro. Top notch.
All right, if you say so. I'll have to check it out. Let's finish these out real quick because I think there's going to be a couple of these that people in the chat are going to remember too as well, right? March 10th, 2020. No history of Bitcoin crashes would be complete without touching on the onset of the you-know-what. And so, yeah, guys, literally we went all the way down to $4,000, I think was the ultimate low.
Yep.
And yeah,
37% down.
that drop was the hardest, I think, of all for me to buy, just because it was something so new and we didn't know what was actually going to be happening. But I will tell you that I think that as it relates to averages, if I look back at some of my purchases, I think that was very helpful because I did have a nice little bit of capital that I invested at that point. So that helped me on Bitcoin and ETH. And then May 2021, right? A lot of you were probably around for this, right? People were scared out of their britches, right? And this was a time when I 100% was chill. So I don't know. I think it's because in my mind, we all had an idea of what was going to happen, right? Maybe your idea was extended cycle. Maybe your idea was it ended at the end of the year. Maybe your idea was, the top was at 6. Everybody had their own idea. And I've yet to see someone that, Benjamin Cowan may be talking about extended cycles right now. Maybe. I mean, quite honestly, who looks correct right now is Blockchain Backer. He has called that we're in a bear market and that we've been in there for a little while. And right now, he is the one that ultimately looks correct, but we don't know. You know what I mean? I think Wednesday is going to be a very telling day. And so, yeah, so kind of what I'm getting at is it feels different buying at different points in my crypto career. But what I do want to say, and just kind of as some encouragement for the audience, if you are the long-term hodler like Miguel and I are, if you can get away from that, exactly what I'm saying, get away from that emotional side of things, like it feels weird or it feels some type of way. If you could blindly DCA and just continue to do it, right? No matter where the price is, guys, you hear people say it. Nobody wants to do it because it's so freaking boring, but it works. It just
Everyone
works.
wants to
You're
buy
basically
bottoms
getting a
and sell
moving
tops.
average. Yeah, because because that is the most profitable way, but it doesn't, you can't do it, right?
It doesn't, like, honestly, I
You
don't
can't do it.
understand. Oh, I do understand. It's the greed of the promise that
Well,
we've been sold with crypto about getting rich, right? Because
sure.
no one ever, people that have always invested in stocks, 401ks, IRAs, have never had this problem, because they blindly dollar cost average. They're putting a portion of their paycheck every time into this thing
Mm-hmm.
so that they can retire at 60 with over $1 million.
Yeah.
That is that's the go-to. All the mentors, all the gurus right out there
It's like my
talk to you
IRAs.
about
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
And but when it comes to crypto, it's like mind wipe. Like, let's forget about what's always worked, and let's talk about how we can flip and get money instantly overnight and get rich. And it's
Yeah.
like, okay, we don't have to wait till we're 60 with crypto. But if you're dollar cost averaging now, just how you'd be dollar cost averaging in your 401k, in the next 10 to 15 years, even 5 years, could have a drastic change in the market, in your portfolio. So why are we pretending like this thing doesn't work? Like, we need to be making these massive moves, like all these content creators talk about all the time,
Yeah.
to be successful in the crypto space. It blows my mind that people get stuck on this.
I'll tell you a quick story. My dad came over, we're going over another business opportunity, another business that we're going to be buying and getting into. But so he was sitting here in my studio, sitting right over here talking to me. And I was talking to him about crypto for a minute. And Bitcoin came up. I showed him a couple things and we were talking, and Bitcoin came up and he said, I'm, how old is he now? 61, 62, 61, 62. And, or he'll be 62 this year. So he's 61. And he said, I just don't know that Bitcoin's maybe the asset for me, just from the sheer standpoint of, the huge run, essentially. He was inferring that the huge run had already happened. And I kind of looked at him for a second and I was like, okay, so, and this is
Many
what,
before you have said the same thing.
okay, yeah. But what I first thought was, as you get older in life, you go towards a more risk off asset. You go towards something that's going to be more stable, right? And so what I asked him was, I said, well, where else are you going to get, let's just say let's the next 5 or 10 years, where else are you going to 5 to 20x your money? And he's like, well, I mean, that's just kind of what you think, right? And so today, I told him, I said, it's not just me, but okay, and he wasn't being like he was just saying like,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
that's what
just
you think, like,
the
right?
logical
And I
mentality.
explained to
Yeah.
him how I think Bitcoin is going to flip the market cap of gold. I showed him where the market cap was and and I think it started to register a little bit more how, like, okay, that makes sense, right? I then sent him a video of Michael Saylor this morning. And it was a recent one of Michael Saylor, and he really broke down how he does so well Bitcoin and the value proposition that's behind it and how far he thinks it's going to go. And he talks about how he bought Apple early, how he bought all of these companies, Microsoft, and has done so well for so long. And he's such a learned man that when I watched it, I said, this is what I'm sending my dad. And later on, I talked to him in the afternoon, and he basically said, so when am I buying? Right. And I said, yesterday. Right. And that's always the answer. And so I just want to throw out there, guys, that like, that's the crypto space, though, because it is so, they see people get these massive gains and everybody wants that. So anything less than a, 5, 10, 20, 50, 100x is like, well, why am I risking anything? But the reality is there's a ton of projects that have a lot of stability. If you can be patient, nothing will touch.
Yeah. So let's give the people what they want, right? They came here, they saw the thumbnail, they see the title, the price predictions. Where is Bitcoin and Ethereum going?
Let's talk about it. All right, so guys, you're going to hear me yapping a little bit tonight, so I do want to apologize in advance because you're going to hear me yapping a little bit. But let's get into this, okay? Miguel, first of all, can you see the screen well right now?
Yeah, I mean, unless you want me to read out the candles, I can't. But
but I mean, you can see where I'm at, right?
yeah, I can see where you're at.
Okay, so let's talk about price targets, right? Let's talk about let's talk about a few things. Let's talk about what's logical. Let's talk about what's possible, and then where we may fall somewhere in between. Okay, let's start
And
off
then I'll
with
tell you guys what's really going to happen.
yeah, and then
'Cause I
Miguel
haven't been
can
wrong
actually
yet.
come in and give you some truth because I just speculate and Miguel preaches truth. So that's what we'll do there. Miguel, you can pay attention to the chat. Cut me off whenever you need to. So let's talk about Bitcoin first, okay? There are 3 levels at which Bitcoin really makes sense right now, okay? The first one is, drum roll please, 30K. Now, hold on a second. Let me back this up. This is making an assumption that we continue to trend lower. The reality is, and we showed this recently, we have a very, a pretty, oh shoot, there's like a freaking thing in my way of my mouse there. There's like a very formed, and it would have been better, but there's like a really good head and shoulders pattern here, which for those of you that don't know, that's a bearish pattern, right? And so the first number that that really seems to make sense is 30. 30 for the main reason being 2 reasons, but the main reason is that those big whole numbers are what people look to they kind of gravitate towards. Okay. The second, and this is really the big one on 30. 30 is the point at which, on a macro level, let me zoom out here. Let me zoom out. Hold on a second. Allow me to zoom out. On a macro level, there we go. On a macro level, and I'm just going to draw it with the same little. Well, I'll try it right here. On a macro level, and I'm gonna totally butcher this because I can't see exactly where it is, but under 30 is essentially where we're going to break down ultimately a long-term uphill movement, right? An actual trending upward, and that's the first thing. Okay, second thing is obviously 30 is a big happy whole number. Okay,
Which I just want to say, we've been under 30 before. There's a ton of buying pressure at 30, at 28, right? We haven't closed below 28. I don't believe we closed under 28 last time we were there in
no,
May. So that is still to be seen. Can it happen? Maybe. But the trend is your friend until the end. So
yeah, so the second one is 25, guys. And 25 is actually pretty simple. There is a CME futures gap. For those of you that are new, Chicago Mercantile Exchange is where, futures, the futures headquarters, if you will. And there's a CME gap. And a CME gap occurs when basically the CME, the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, is not open on Saturday and Sunday. I think that will change at some point. But right now, it's how it is, right? And so what'll happen is over the weekend, the price will the price will gap. It'll either go up or it'll go down. And as a general rule, those get filled. And what do I mean by filled? It means there's a gap in between, Friday and Monday. And what ends up happening is the price will come back to wherever that gap occurred. And so we have a CME gap at 25. Okay. And then the big one, right, is 20K. Let me zoom in on where is that? That's going to be.
in the meantime, Haiti, you're not wrong. There is also a double top that you can see at the macro level of Bitcoin, because we have gone to the 67, 69K level twice, and have been rejected from it. And if you look at it, there is a double top kind of situation playing out. What are you trying to do, man? All I'm seeing is these smushed candles.
I was literally just going to try to show you right here. So ultimately, the previous all-time high is right here, December 7th of 2017. And then I think, did it wick here on the 16th? I think actually it wicked again. At any event, right up to about 20K. Okay. So 20K is a big number because it is the previous all-time high. But here's the real reason why it's a big number, right? It is the 20K is also the 200 weekly moving average. And guys, we have to look at technicals along with fundamentals. Okay. And one of the big technicals are these moving average, and the 200 weekly moving average is right at about 20K. So 20K, if we do break down, that's going to be a big number to look at.
That's going to be a huge number. Also, not just because it was a previous cycle all-time high, but the trend that Bitcoin has is that Bitcoin has never, I'm sure people have heard me say before, has never in its history retested or broken below a previous cycle all-time high. And 20K being that, 20K or 19, whatever, being that, Bitcoin going to that level or below it would be the first time in its entire life history that's ever done it. Can it happen? Absolutely. Anything can happen. Nobody thought pigs could fly. Pigs fly. So anything is possible in this world. Just very unlikely.
So we're going to move back. We're going to kind of go back and forth, but I want to touch on ETH. Okay. So, and Miguel, feel free if there's something in the chat, anybody wants to share. I can't see the chat right now. I'm looking at my chart. So just let me know if there's anything we want to talk about there. So ETH. All right. The logical number for ETH to pull back to from where we're at right now. So right now we're at about 2,400. Okay. The logical number to pull back to is going to be just below 2K. Okay. Here's the reason why. We have, let me see here, the launch. So on March, let me go back, March 31st of 2020. All right. It's right here. So March 31st, which is right here of 2020, we were just below 2K. Okay. And if you look across here, I'm gonna put a put a little line on here for you. If I could freaking find what, oh, there you go. Essentially this just 2K number, right, has literally, and I could keep going over, has a lot going on. That's a terrible line, but you can see 2K being a big level. Okay. So going all the way back to March where I just started, right? That was where we bottom. That was where we launched. That was our launch point from 2021. And then check this out. When we get over to July, right? Guess what? We get over into July and we are bottoming over just below that 1900 number, right? So again, we've got a launch point in March and then a bottom point in July. So those both make sense for just below. Now, if we don't hold there, guys, previous all-time high was right around 1450, if I remember correctly. And that would be the other price target that we'd be looking at as it relates to ETH.
So what are you thinking? You think we're gonna go down to those price points, or you think we're gonna bounce off, or what are you thinking here, Nick?
And I'm going to get into kind of what I think we can do and what we can be ready for. I said this the other day. I literally have never been more unsure about where the market is headed. I just haven't been. I literally feel like there's so much negative sentiment in the market that it makes me want to be bullish, because as a general rule, when all up, but I've also been around for the bear market, and you have too, Miguel. And what does that feel like? It feels like negativity to the point of anger. I don't like people are just upset. They're just not happy with things. I should
honestly no. I would refute that. I think last time it wasn't anger. It was
surprise.
People was just bored with crypto, right? Crypto was not moving, and it goes back to what
I'm talking about the initial like month or whatever.
Well, yeah, the initial month, obviously there's feelings, there's frustrations, right? People cry themselves to sleeves, people lost their house, stuff like that. But after that initial drop happens, just like how in May, right? The floor came out from below us and we dropped to 30, and we were at 30 for like 2 months, and people just became bored. So same thing happened, right? For multiple years. People just get bored and just disappear and fizzle out from the market because they are only here for the big moves, for the big swings. and it's a big mistake, in my opinion.
Well, that's
I think.
actually. Oh, go ahead.
Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry.
No,
No, go ahead.
I kind of lost where I was going, so it's okay. Let's just keep going.
But that's actually kind of where I wanted to head with this next, and that's, you know, those you have to be able to be okay in that space. If we right now, and I'm gonna bring this in, and I'm gonna talk about some strategies here in just a second, but if we right now are in a bear market, then and I told you, and let's just say I could actually say bada bing, bada boom, bear market, right? How does it ultimately truly change anything? You still don't know how low it's going to go at this point. You just know that we are in a period, an extended period, albeit, that's going to be down. So what do? You continue to do the most boring freaking thing ever. There's two things you can do. You can trade if you feel that works for you, or if you want to learn that, right? We're teaching that and trying to get better at that in the Debate Crypto Academy, guys. So if you guys are looking to check us out over there, we're also giving away a year free market cipher over there. So check us out. But you can either trade or you can be boring, and you can dollar cost average. And I got to tell you, of those two, one of those has been incredibly successful for me. It's been dollar cost average. And it's the same thing for you, Miguel. I'm not DCAing all the time like I'd like to be. I'm not. But when I see opportunities, and you start to know them as you've been in,
And you don't need to. You don't need to dollar cost average every day, every week. You don't have to. You just wait for these big drops in the moment in the market, these big boring moments, and that's when you start dollar cost averaging for a short period of time, and just let that be, right? The last time the bear market was for multiple years, so it gave you time to dollar cost average, every month, every week or so for a long extended period of time.
yeah.
Maybe this time it won't be that long, but honestly, it's crazy that we're headed down to these prices at these 30 something, right? People are calling for 20 or even lower than 20 for Bitcoin.
People are calling freaking Crypto Face. I
fear,
heard him talking about like 9 to 11K, and I was like,
the fear and greed index is
"Ooh-wee."
about to fucking hit zero. Like it's literally
It's about to go
running lower.
negative.
It's running lower than my gas tank from the last time we spoke, right? So we're almost at 30, right? We're at 36 now. We had a small bounce. Last time we were at 30, the sentiment I don't think was even that low. The
No,
fear and greed index
I
wasn't
don't think
that
it
low.
was either.
And talking about going even lower than that, it cannot be. It's not going to be lived long. I don't think it's going to be lived long. I think it's going to be a short term thing because it's just so negative.
But again,
But
you were around for this last bear market. Let's be fair.
yeah,
We have to be fair because we've been there. You can stay in those absolute just bottom. You can stay way oversold for a long period of time, just like you can
that's
stay way
fine.
overheated for a long period of time.
But
You know
it's
what I mean?
different for the simple fact that in 2018 we dreamt of institutional attention. We
Yeah.
dreamt of nations adopting crypto and
Now it
Bitcoin.
boots us in the
Right
ass every
now,
chance it has, every opportunity it has.
it's happening all the time. And I saw something amazing on Twitter today. It says it was just a picture, right, with a little caption. It wasn't a meme or anything, and it just said, "Stop selling to the whales." And that's all that's happening. Is this negative sentiment is just selling to institutions. That's
Yep.
all it is. Institutions
Mhm.
are still buying. They're
Who bought?
still dollar
Somebody bought
cost
a bunch.
averaging.
Somebody bought a
What was it?
bunch. Somebody bought a bunch. Was it today? Dude, I thought you said
Uh,
something to me about it. I saw it. Somebody bought a bunch.
oh yes, Rothschild something
Yes.
investments, right?
Hmm.
Bought like
Grayscale
93,000, huh?
of the Grayscale
Of
Trust.
Grayscale, right? Because they're diversifying their investment into this stuff. But why would they be buying? Why would they be buying the shares of Grayscale if crypto's gonna die next year? If crypto isn't going anywhere, right? Why would they be buying right now? We could go lower. Why?
Yeah.
Why would they buy now? Why wouldn't they just wait, right? Because they're not in it to buy the bottoms. They're just trying to accumulate and eat up as
Accumulate.
much as they can,
Accumulate.
as long
Yep.
as they can, so that
Yep.
10 years down the line, they're going to look like legends, right? They're going to look like, wow, these people were buying all this stuff. And that's
Gimme,
all
gimme,
that is
gimme, gimme,
happening
gimme,
here
gimme.
is
Mhm.
we're in a new decade where now institutional play is public, and they are just trying to shift all the crypto from retail investors into their hands to then eventually sell it back to us
Yep.
10 years down the line from now when they put it into your 401ks, when they put it into your IRAs,
Yeah, that's a
when they
fact.
put it into all your retirement funds. That's when they're like, well, here you go. You can diversify in all these
That's
different
a really good point.
indexes and all this stuff. That's what's happening.
That's a really
They
good
don't
point.
want you to hold on to it individually. They don't want you to be your own bank. They don't want you to have control over your own stuff. They want you to buy it back from them 10 years from now when it's established, when it's safe now because they say it's safe. That
Yeah.
is all that is happening.
Yeah, and I actually want to touch on this as it relates because I want to go a little bit further into some of the technicals, right? And somebody just said, "Who was this?" This was Sandman. What's going on, Sandman? Glad you're here, brother. He says that's where it always bounces at the 200-day average. So I want to touch on that real quick. So the 200-day average for ETH is just at about $1,000. So don't freak out on me. Don't everybody say I'm saying it's going there. I'm just letting you know the 200 is approximately at 1K, right? And I got to tell you, a 1K freaking ETH. I'm listen, guys. You guys know how much I love my ETH. So my girl, my baby. Let's do. If we're gonna do it, let's just do it, right? I hate the farting around, wondering where things are going. If we're just gonna capitulate, if we're just gonna absolutely just dump and get down and what like then let's do it. But so that's it. That's it at 1, and then the 200 moving for Bitcoin is at about 20. Okay, so those are those two numbers. So check this out. I just want to kind of recap. Here are the numbers. We told you we were going to look for some targets. Here's some technical numbers, guys. Keep this in mind. If we're heading down, technical numbers. Okay, we'll start from where we're at. First one for Bitcoin, 30K. Okay, first one for ETH. Okay, is 1950. Right, those are the two first, right? Second one down is going to be 25K for Bitcoin. That's also where there's that CME futures gap. Okay, so that's that second technical level, right? And then the third for Bitcoin and that second level for ETH is going to be the old all-time high, which is like 1450, right? And then the third one for Bitcoin is going to be about 20K, just below 20, right? And that is the 200 moving average, okay? And the previous all-time high. And then also for ETH, the 200 moving is $1,000, which that's a nice amount lower than the previous all-time high. So I guess we'll have to see how that plays out. Maybe one will hold stronger than the other, assuming that we go down. But check this out. Here's what I want to say. Okay, I've been waiting for this part. You've got to keep something in mind for everybody in here. Okay, if we go below 31, I want you guys to soak this in. Take a deep breath. If we go below 31, every 31K on Bitcoin, everyone that bought Bitcoin after December of 2020 would be underwater, including, this is the hopium, guys, including a bunch of large institutions. Okay, everyone. I'm talking about retail, short term, long term, everyone, right? And keep in mind, we've got people that are buying the dip, some of them on leverage. Okay. So we just need to be prepared as always, right? Hopefully, these targets are going to help you put some sort of a game plan together so that you're prepared. That's what we always talk about. Game plan, game plan, game plan, game plan. And all I want to throw out there is, hey, I'm not saying we're going lower, but I'm saying that there are some very likely price targets that hit for multiple reasons, not just straight technical, but also being previous all-time highs and things of that matter. I mean, do you agree with that, Miguel, or am I just off my meds?
No, I mean, I agree. We could go lower, right? We could go lower, but that's okay. Like this obsession that we have in the crypto markets that all we talk about is the price every single day. All content creators do it, right? Because it sells, right? People watch it, people want to see it. Blows my mind the obsession of the price every single day. It doesn't matter what the price is today. What matters is what the price is going to be in 5 years, what the price is going to be in 10 years. That is what matters. So it doesn't matter if Bitcoin's at 69K today or at 30K today. It doesn't matter. What matters is 5 years from now, right? 5 years from now, 10 years from now, we're going to be, these price points are going to be these small blimps that we saw in the article earlier today of $1,000 Bitcoin dropping to $200, right? That's going to be that blimp. You're not even going to see it in the chart anymore. It's going to be a flat line. And you're like, man, I wonder what, I wish I was back then buying up Bitcoin. I would have now worried about it. But people are so obsessed. They're so zoomed in with today we're going to 30, maybe tomorrow we're going to 28, and maybe the next day after that. How long are we going to be there? How long are we going to be at a 20K Bitcoin? I can't understand. I need to know. And it's like, why?
Yeah.
What matters is 5 years from now. That's
Yeah.
all institutional investors care about, right? Long-term investors, Warren Buffett, these dinosaurs from the traditional system have told you, right? You've read their books, you've read all the gurus and how they get rich. They've all done the same thing: long-term investing. And what better way, like Nick said, is going to 5x, 10x your money in a short period of maybe 10 years. That
Yeah.
sounds like an amazingly long, terrible investment strategy. 10 years to 10x my money? That's terrible. Guys, the stock market, the best you can do, the best traders are getting 8%.
Yeah.
8%, 7 to
Mhm.
9%, that
Yeah.
best in a year. In a year, we're talking about 5xing to 10xing our money and becoming and changing your life, right? Just dollar cost averaging, the same thing that you're promised with your 401ks when you're 60, but at a shorter time frame. And we're freaking out here every single day.
Yeah, that's a really good point. It is. It's looking at now. There's obviously more risk involved in there. There's definitely, the possibility that it doesn't happen. But the reality is, with where we're headed right now, there's no
I
reason that we don't flip gold at a
I
minimum.
want
At a minimum.
100% have zero doubts that Bitcoin will not be here in 10 years.
Oh
Zero
no, no,
doubts.
totally, totally, and not even just that.
So
It'll
like
not
the
only
risk
be
doesn't
here.
even exist for me.
Yeah, so it's
The-
not even that it's going to be here. It's going. I mean, I believe that there's almost no way we don't move to where we at a minimum flip gold. And to flip gold right now, here I'm gonna pull this up real quick. Miguel, I'm gonna share my screen. Actually, if you can do this real. Oh, I gotta share it first. Let's look at this real quick because I think I want to get this number real quick. Do some rain math real quick. So Bitcoin is at, drum roll please,
It's like 600 something.
$686 billion right now. Okay.
Yep.
So gold is at 11 trillion, I believe is the number. Okay. So we're literally talking about an 18x from where we're at right now to flip gold. Guys, that literally is a 618.
I just want before
$642,000 freaking Bitcoin.
I
Like,
just want people to know 18x, right? Let's say you put $1,000 into Bitcoin, 18x your money. And let's say it takes a 2030, right? 10 years, less than 10 years, like 8 years or whatever, to 18x your money to flip gold. I want to know how many people are going to 18x their money buying Facebook stock, buying gold, buying gold, buying Google, buying Tesla stocks, right? I want to see when you're going to 18x your money in the next
yeah.
10 years off these stocks. You won't.
It's literally, it's like getting into, Apple when like in the 90s or whatever. It's like getting into
Yeah.
Microsoft. It's the internet on steroids, and the ability to do that with the top tier asset like Bitcoin is where it just seems crazy, right? And so I just want to throw out there, guys, that yes, you're going to hear a lot of doom and gloom. Yes, you're going to feel some of this, right? Because you don't know what's going on. Bobby, side note, thank you very much for the super chat. We appreciate you. Part of the DCA fam in the house representing. We appreciate you. And so, yes, you're going to feel that. Yes, it's going to be there. But there's a couple things to remember, right? On the positive side, if you can get your mind in a position where, hey, all of these low points are an opportunity for me to accumulate, right? Because I look back on even with the amount of ETH that I hold, which I hold quite a bit, I look back at some of the opportunities I had to buy a lot more. And it's, I don't kick myself because I just don't think that that's good for me, right? But I just, I'm like, Derek, on it. I really could have juiced it at that point. And so the reality is if we can look at it as an opportunity long term, it's going to win. But here's the other side of the coin, just so that because we got to get
Wait, hold on.
guys.
There is no other side because there is no regret to buying Bitcoin. There isn't.
No.
There's no regret to buying ETH. Like there just isn't. Like even if you're buying and you're short term underwater, When you look back at the chart, you're always in the green. The amount of people in the red right now, or will be in the red in the short term coming up, will literally be a small little blip, for a small period of time.
Yeah.
The only regret always is
Not
and will
buying more.
always be not buying more.
Not accumulating more. That's a fact. That's a fact. And so for those of you that haven't been around for a bear market, right? This is what I was about to say, was kind of the other side, just to be aware. Like, you're gonna hear a lot of low numbers, and all I want to tell you is that don't be scared of the low numbers. Can the low numbers happen? Sure, they can. If we can get our mind to the idea where the low numbers are not to be scared of, but they are to be an opportunity, then we have our mind working for us, not against us, right? Fear is an awful place to live. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't help, nothing. But if we can look at this as, holy crap, I have this huge opportunity, right? This huge opportunity to absolutely change my life. The other thing is, check this out. I got one more thing that's a good thing too for ETH, right? So I talked about this on a TikTok earlier today, but ETH, right, is, yes, one ETH is one ETH. So for anybody that wants to correct me in the chat, I already get it, right? But what I am saying is that for anybody newer to the markets, right, or somebody that's basically on-ramping dirty fiat for ETH, there is an opportunity when ETH prices are really, really low to buy some of these NFTs. That I'm talking long-term NFTs that are going to, for a lot cheaper, right? I mean, it's just a fact, if you're on ramping fiat at this point, that you can buy stuff for a heck of a lot cheaper.
I just want to say what you're saying about the fear, not living in the fear. I say do live in fear. Live in lots of fear. Fear is a huge motivator, right? Fear keeps you alive and motivates you to survive. And the fear you should always live in is, I don't have enough. There's not enough Bitcoin. I don't have enough Ethereum. I don't have enough crypto. I don't have enough in my portfolio. What am I wasting my money on instead of what I could be stacking into my portfolio to be
Do you want me to
making
give you
my life better? That's the fear you should live in every day.
You want me to give you my Jesus answer on that? My Jesus answer is, fear is not of the Lord, young man, and we will not live there, right? I just want you guys to be encouraged that literally we have an opportunity in front of us, no matter which way this market goes. And, whether you're taking profits right now, whether you're just continuing to hodl, whether you're continuing to stack, whatever the case may be, just please, please, please be responsible with it, because we don't know. Just like all content creators, we don't know which way this is going. But hopefully some of these price points at least give you kind of a foundational just overview of, hey, these numbers kind of make sense, and maybe you can plan accordingly, or at least as part of your greater strategy, because we're obviously not giving you financial advice. We're just throwing out there, hey, here's some price targets that over the time kind of makes sense.
I just want to say, since you brought up the point of fear is not of the Lord tests you, right? You're constantly being tested, and this is what crypto is doing. Crypto is testing you right now. Do you understand what you are buying? Do you understand
faithful
the market,
to your crypto?
The market that you are in, right? Do you really understand it, or are you just chasing a flip to get more fiat? Is that what it is? Is that all you're in it for, to get more fiat? If you're in there, then if you're in it for that, then you're in it for the wrong reasons. You're not understanding what you're doing. You will be, squeezed out of the market. If you understood what you're buying, what exists, what opportunities happen right here, right now, guys, Bitcoin's been around for 12, 13 years.
Wax on.
When you're 60 years old and your grandkids are asking you what you did during these times, and you said, "Oh yeah, I panic sold my bags because I thought it was never going to be a thing," you're going to look terrible in that family history.
I can't wait until my daughter gets to tell her friends, like they're like, man, your daddy's loaded, isn't he? Yeah, he got that Bitcoin money. He's got that crypto. They'll call it crypto money. I'm sure.
They're gonna ask you,
he's one of those. He's one of those early crypto adopters, and that'll be a normal
all your wealth
thing.
Yeah, how did you make all your wealth? Oh, I was buying the dip. And you know what they say? They're gonna say, "Fucking legend." There you
Mm,
go. It's
yeah.
like it's literally that simple. If you're just
I
thinking
like it.
about it today, tomorrow, and you don't understand what you're buying into, you're not gonna last here. You're not gonna survive in this market. You will be
Yeah.
tested and you will be squeezed out. Only the strong will survive. That is the only thing I like about crypto that does not exist anywhere else. The survival of the fittest is in crypto. Nowhere else in society does that exist anymore. And that is why people have such a hard time with crypto.
Yeah.
Only the strongest will survive.
I want to touch on two of these real quick. First of all, Miguel, I really this is really resonating with me. Sean's been calling us sensei, right? Okay, so hold on a second. So
Strike
should
hard,
we
strike.
should we change the group chat to the DCA dojo, dude?
Dude, I like
Like
that. I like
the
that.
DCA dojo. That would be. Listen, Sean, I'm all about it, dude. I love
Have
it.
you
I
seen
love it.
Cobra
Thank
Kai?
you.
Have you seen
I,
Cobra Kai?
I I have seen some of the first season of Cobra Kai. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I
then
love that. I love that.
and so check this out. So, where did it just go? I was gonna. Oh yeah, here we go. Quote for the evening from Garris. Thank you, Garris. There is no nobility in poverty. I don't know if you
Yep,
ever heard this before,
I have. I've
but it's
watched Wolf on
such.
Wall Street.
Yeah, that is such a true statement, right? And the beautiful thing is that freedom financially, listen, money will not buy you happiness, but I can tell you it sure takes one of the biggest stressors. Do you know the number one reason that people get divorced? It's financial. It's financial
Yep.
issues, right? And so there's that stress there for a lot of people. If we can get ourselves over the next 5, 10 plus years into a position where we don't have that stress, guys, I'm here to tell you, like, it feels good.
The only way I would refute that there's no nobility in poverty is XRP.
Oh,
XRP, I
here
would
we
argue that
go.
one.
Here we
I
go.
mean, hey, if you because you I understand the statement, right? I understand the whole. Well, I've seen Wolf on Wall Street. Right? I see what greed can do to you. I've been a poor man. I've been a rich man. I'd rather be rich every single time, right? Yes, I completely understand that. Right? I would like to be rich too, but you can get rich doing some very dirty things in this world that should not ever be done, and there would be more nobility in just staying poor than going down that road. And
Oh my
XRP is just
gosh.
on that side of the road for me, bro. XRP, banker coins, right? Central banking, I don't want to get deeper into that. The people that know, they know. um I don't want to get into it.
Ready, fight. Sean just, hey, Sean, fatality. CryptoKeeper wins. Yeah, so we won't dive down that path, but that's for sure. So Bobby, a dojo is where, depending on the martial
Do
art, but
karate.
is where, yeah, not just karate but other martial arts, but yeah, it's where they go to get taught, and ultimately that's what we're trying to do, right? Is teach the DCA fam. So I think we need to change it to the DCA dojo, dude. Sean, thank you. I just want to throw that out there, dude. I appreciate you. So, Miguel, anything else in the chat that we need to touch on, or are we gonna wrap this up?
I don't see anything else in the chat.
Okay.
But yeah, guys, it's all about long-term vision. Every great investor and guru has always talked about it. Don't get wrapped up in this short-term mentality of what's happening in the market every single day. The only
Yeah.
fear you should have is I don't have enough. I
Yeah.
don't have enough. Not, oh, this is not going to come back. This is over. I should start selling. I should be stacking fiat. Fiat is trash.
Yeah. I'm with it, guys. Listen, there's an opportunity in front of us. No matter which way this market goes, we have an opportunity. And if we're not going to take advantage of this opportunity, what are we really doing? So, Crypto fam, if nobody's told you before today, I love each and every one of you. Miguel loves each and every one of you. We appreciate you guys. We appreciate your support. We look forward to seeing you soon. Tomorrow, catch me on Around the Blockchain. We'll be there at 5 o'clock. That's BitBoy Crypto Show. If you guys didn't know that, I'm there every Tuesday. And actually,
Going for that,
tomorrow,
what, fourth dub? Is it
tomorrow,
fourth,
yeah,
fifth
I'm trying
dub?
to get fourth in a row, baby. Tomorrow is actually going to be the last Tuesday, or the last Tuesday that I'm going to be doing. Then I will be moving to Monday. So tomorrow is the last Tuesday, and then the first Monday of February, which is the 7th, will be the next time that I'm on, and it'll be Mondays from there on out. Just kind of giving you guys a heads up. But hey, guys, listen. Wednesday, what if Wednesday? That's definitely happening. We might try to switch things up to go to 8 o'clock, guys. We're just kind of feeling out some different time frames. We do have our families, and obviously, you know, that's super important for us as well. So, what if Wednesday? TA Thursday, okay? Saturday morning cartoons and Saturday Night Live. So, and there might be other stuff in between just because we, you know, randomly have guests on and whatnot, but we are still trying to figure out actually, Miguel, we need to talk about that. Let's get this debate going with,
Okay. Yes, we do. And by the way, we got a big boy mod in the house, in the chat. Appreciate the support. Says he'll be there tomorrow. See you tomorrow.
All right, crypto fam. We